The holidays are upon us again. I don't know about you, but I feel like they have arrived like a thief in the night. Like Santa is knocking on your window, but like in a holly jolly way, which may even be more horrifying. But who has a chimney anymore? Am I right? How's he gonna get in? The Macy's Day Parade balloons are just bobbing their way down Manhattan, including Mario this year. I love Mario. I think he was my first crush in like first grade, which is hilarious. And it's potentially time for you to get a bit of a break and simultaneously also need a bit of a break from whatever holiday engagements you're engaged in. So today we're going to chat about what's potentially most relevant in this season, which is how to get the most out of your break and how to not break apart in potentially stressful situations you're put in at holiday events. Welcome back to the show. I know you're like, what? Wrong holiday, but resurrected from the dead. Yes, I'm so glad to be back with you. And I took a content creation break like I always do when I start a new role in my day job because this channel is moonlighting for me to no one's surprise. And I always recommend doing this in whatever fashion that looks like for you in terms of your self-declared extracurriculars when you just need a moment to reset, okay? And that also applies to the holidays with a Z. And before we dive in today, for my new friends here, hi, I'm Julie Bethany, and I create content to empower you to live your best, most authentic life as the truest-to-you version of who you are. And I give you the tools and resources to do that here in a fun way that's more digestible than your holiday turkey. Okay, today we'll talk holidays. We'll cover how to make sure you're getting a real impactful rest during your time off, which involves a lot more relationship management than may initially meet the eye. Then speaking of relationship management, we'll talk how to survive potentially stressful situations at holiday events. And finally, because this is, after all, a self-development show, we'll talk how to create space for yourself during the holiday season to dream about what you want the next best version of your life to look like. Okay, let's begin with how to make sure you're getting real impactful rest during your time off. So first of all, I feel like holiday calendars are more packed than Santa's bag on his sleigh, okay? So we gotta get ahead of that as much as possible. And when you take inventory of your days off that you hopefully have during the holidays, fingers crossed for you, it's imperative and hilarious, but imperative nonetheless that you intentionally schedule time for rest, because when you see day off on your calendar, your amazing family or spouse or sig of, that's significant other in my terms, or besties or other amazing humans in your life may see that little blank square on your calendar, and with the vivid imagination of J.K. Rowling writing Harry Potter, start to take the liberty of filling your holiday calendar for you. So you have to protect your squares, okay? Yes, with your newfound free time, you can go take some time to do practical things like use up those bennies, that's benefits this year, and do your eye exam and dental appointment and whatever. Yes, you can go to holiday parties and white elephants and bring a Snuggie as your gift and to fun holiday bars. In fact, go all out if you like that. How fun. Bop around holiday markets to do your holiday shopping, sipping on Bryant Park Winter Village's marshmallow hot chocolate, OMG, so good. Fall over repeatedly on the ice if you're like me and think it'd be fun year after year to make a fool of yourself on a holiday ice skating rink, because why don't they make adult support ice penguins? But yes, fill your calendar with things you want to do, but also leave some room for yourself to do nothing planned so you can fill your days with what you feel like doing on that day so you can get some real rest. Guard your squares. Yes, friends and fam can take up some of them if you want them to, but leave some time for yourself too, like schedule a massage or something relaxing if you have to. But rest is so important, and I would hate for you to become the Grinch this holiday season because your time suddenly entirely became not your own on your own days off, right? Protect your squares. Now let's talk about the events you may or may not be attending during the holidays. You may have some events you want to go to, and you may have some quote-unquote obligatory events too. I put those in quotes because you have free will and are not obligated to do as many things as others may try and pressure you into. So how do you survive potentially stressful situations at holiday events? Right now, if you're in the US, the country's super divided politically, arguably for very good reasons, but sometimes, and in my case, not everyone at these events has the same views. There's the approach my sister takes, which is so smart and is literally a rule that I don't talk politics at events, and that's it. Simple, classy, done. I tend to be more of a person who hears people out and doesn't always share my own opinion unless someone super crosses the line, and then I respectfully drop a nonchalant fact or ask a question to get someone to think a little deeper about what they just said. And that approach isn't for everyone. So I've just reached a point where I know where I stand and what I believe, and I'd rather keep the peace than argue most of the time for my own sanity's sake. But it's up to you what your approach is. I do like my sister's rule where politics just isn't allowed to be a topic at the table. So use that too if you need to for that or any other topic. And I don't know about you, but another thing I encounter a lot happens because I'm single. And though I may look like I'm 21, just kidding, I'm in my mid-30s. So questions arrive all the time about if I'm dating, for example. And this can be for couples, things like when you're having kids or buying a home or whatever. And you can do a few things about this. You can totally shut down any topic you don't care to elaborate on with a simple yes or no if you're asked about it, or you can even tell them you'd rather talk about another topic and you can choose another topic, or you can choose to elaborate, which may shut the conversation down itself. For example, the answer to the if I'm dating question is no, not intentionally right now, because my gay best guy friends treat me better individually than all the guys I've dated combined in the past. I'd rather have my peace for now. And sometimes the people at your events may not get that if something similar is true for you, but it can shut the conversation down just by doing that. And I've also heard of people turning it back onto other people and being like, why would you even ask me that? But whichever strategy you choose, stay true to yourself and respond how you want to. But just like you shouldn't feel obligated to fill your calendars with other people's obligations for you, don't feel obligated to answer full-on interrogations at holiday events either. You can also entirely not go to those events too. That was something that took me a really long time to learn, and often it was expected of me as a single person who didn't have another Sig Ofs family, quote unquote, competing with my holiday time or kids of my own to have a quote unquote reason to skip events. You don't need a reason. Do what's true to you, take the time you need to rest, and you are allowed to not put yourself in situations or be around people that have continually proven to be stressful and or disrespectful over and over again. And you can, but you don't need to give anyone an explanation as an adult with free will unless you want to. You do you, boo. Finally, let's talk how to create space for yourself during the holiday season to dream about what you want the next best version of your life to look like. It's great during this time to take time to rest, and in that time, it's also great to do things like taking a moment for yourself to dream. That often takes reflection of how you feel life is going right now and what you'd love to see change. And when you slow down for a moment and really examine what you love about your life and what you'd love to see be different, you can start to decide how you might want to adjust your life in order to get there. And when you're going a million miles per hour in your normal routine, we often don't even have time to stop and think about what you'd love to see change. So while you have this time to rest, I highly recommend taking a moment to journal or meditate or even just consider in a quiet space how life feels for you right now and if there's anything you'd really like to change. And even if the list is long of things you'd like to be different, pick one thing on that list of things you'd like first to see change that's most impactful for you. So think about what would mean the most to you if it changed and decide what the first best step would be to start moving in that direction. Then take that baby step, baby, and after that, keep stepping and it will become a habit. And you want to go back to those calendar squares and schedule in time to take those steps. For example, if you want to move your body more, schedule it into your calendar. Try it out when you have free time now during the holidays and start to schedule movement into your regular schedule so you don't forget about it. And that's the whole premise of this channel, by the way. For anyone joining me for the first time or as a refresher, I truly believe that you become the person you want to be by acting like them. That's it. That's what living vicariously through yourself means. It's a cute little phrase I made up, but it's a time-tested psychological phenomenon that you just plain become the person you want to be by acting like them. So with our example, if you start moving your body more often, more intentionally, even if it means you just start by taking the stairs instead of an elevator whenever you can, and then you schedule it in, even if that means you just put walks on your calendar, you start feeling better and you tend to repeat that pattern until it becomes a habit and it sticks and becomes part of who you are, part of your identity, because it becomes more automatic for you. Okay, so let's recap about how to make your holidays the best they can be. 1, protect your squares, aka make sure you schedule free time for yourself to truly reset and protect your calendar so that it looks how you want it to look this holiday season. Next, protect your peace. Don't feel obligated to attend any events or spend time around people who have consistently bulldozed your boundaries, and if anyone does attempt to do that at events, feel free to shut it down in whatever fashion you want and or create rules of engagement for events that you could see ahead of time potentially being tense for any reason. And finally, thirdly, leave yourself time to dream about what the next best version of your life looks like. When you get a moment to evaluate how you feel about your life, take it so you can ensure that the next free moment you get to look back on how far you've come since this moment, because you took a moment now to consider what could be better, took the baby steps to do it, and penciled it into your schedule until it became a habit and part of who you are. That's all for today, and I hope you go today and start to live the life of your dreams as the best, most authentic, truest to you version of yourself you can be. Because when you do that, you show others it's possible for them too. I'll see you soon, and I hope you enjoy your holidays. Thanks for hanging. Okay, look at this beautiful boot, okay? This is from H-E-B for any of y'all in Texas, but this is coming to holiday events with me because y'all know I don't cook, or now you do know. We have the star of the show with us and no mic because we're trying to adjust some things, but oh, the star's gone. See you all soon.